Happy Friday, Medina City Schools. This is Superintendent Sable at the Superintendent's Desk. I actually wasn't going to provide an update this week with the extensive one I've provided last week and the long weekend ahead, but I'm hearing several rumors out amongst the community or amongst the staff, and I just want to take an opportunity to answer some of those questions. I did address these two topics, and they're the potential assistant athletic director position as well as the redistricting. I've covered them in depth in the past week or two, so some of this might be rehashing some old information, but I'm going to try and do it in a shorter video because I know I got kind of lengthy last week. First, let's talk about the assistant AD position that's been floating around. I need to make clear that we currently do not have a plan in place to hire an assistant athletic director. We are simply having the conversation about how we can provide additional support to our athletic department. There are various options and various ways we can do that, whether it's through secretarial support, whether it's through having a teacher on assignment, and the addition of assistant athletic director position is just one of the options. All we've been doing is discussing what that job description would look like if it were decided that we went in that direction. We are going to be having further conversation, and I want everybody to know that we are hearing your feedback and we're taking that into consideration as we're moving forward. I think the hard part of this decision is we want to focus our funds, just like you do, towards our students and the classrooms and in support of curriculum. We need to look at the district as a whole, though, and see where additional supports are needed, because we want to offer outstanding services for our students across the gamut, whether that's in extracurricular activities or whether that's in the classroom. Please do know that I wouldn't even discuss a position such as this if it was going to have a negative impact on the things that we're trying to do in the classroom. We do have a budget that's set through our strategic plan. It's included in our 5-year forecast, and all the items in our strategic plan are going into place. And that's made possible by the passage of our levy last year to keep us at the same funding that we've been at. So adding a position or adding extra supports to our athletic department doesn't take away from anything that we're trying to do in the classroom. We are getting towards the middle of that strategic plan, and we're going to be providing you with more formal updates on our progress. The plan is, though, to have it all implemented within the next 2 to 3 years, and we'll be starting the process over and asking the community, the staff, the students to come back in and reformulate our plan for the next 5 years. Things do come up on occasion that are outside of that strategic plan that we need to do. An example is doing some facelifting and work to our buildings, maybe adding some additional teaching staff because of enrollment numbers, and we need to address those issues even though they're not part of our strategic plan, to ensure that we're continuing to provide top services to our students. So the big question, are we adding an assistant AD? I don't know. We're talking about ways we can better support our athletic programs. That's one of the options. But again, do know that that's not going to take away from anything that we're doing in the classrooms with our students. And if we can find a creative way that's low cost to provide extra support for the athletic department, that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're talking about right now and why we're exploring all of the potential options. The second piece is redistricting, and I know I've talked about this a few times. I'd really encourage you, if you have specific questions or concerns, that you submit those through our website, through the Q&A that I had mentioned a week or two ago. I do want you to know that I'm actually calling those people to have conversations with them about redistricting, because the feedback is important and I want to make sure that we have factual information out there. Redistricting is not something that's happening in the next year. It was my decision. I'm going to take ownership. It was my decision to start getting this information out to the staff and the community early on. we're really not diving deep into this whole redistricting process or this potential bond issue process until next school year. Next school year, we're going to be inviting community in, parents in, staff in, students in, to take a collaborative approach at looking at redistricting and some potential work to some of our buildings and facilities. I wanted to get the information out early because I try and operate as an open book, and your early feedback is important in helping us prepare for the process that we're going to go through next year. So please know, we have no plans of closing a building. I've heard talk about closing Garfield. It's been an idea we've thrown out there. No decision has been made to close Garfield, and I couldn't sit here today and tell you that Garfield is going to close. I can tell you that Garfield by far has our lowest enrollment of only 250 students, so that's why that idea has even surfaced. In addition to that, there's been discussion about a potential 5-6 building and a 7-8 building. Again, those are ideas. What's really important to me is that we're not making a decision for the moment, but we're making a decision for the future. So as we're seeing new developments come up, as we're seeing shifts in our population and our enrollment at the different buildings, I want to try and work towards a really educated decision so that we're not in a position where we're having to redistrict in another 4 or 5 years. I want to make a long-term decision that's going to be best for our students, and I can only do that with your help, so please keep the feedback coming. I hope everybody gets some extra time with this long weekend. I know our students are going to be enjoying it. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you at our future update. Thank you.